Okay, we're going to go over a few things in this video. First of all, we're going to set up a few variables for our health and our ammo, and then we're going to create a pickup for both our health and our ammo, so we can use them in game. We don't have any enemies yet, but we can kind of simulate what our ammo and what our health are at. So the first thing we want to do is go into our character blueprint again. And at the top here we've got this event begin play, which is kind of set, is replicated. Don't need to worry about that, but what we need to use is the event begin play, but it's kind of already been used by this function. We could pull off from this here one and kind of add a string onto it, but there is a way to make this neater. But first of all, we're going to create our variables. So first one that we're going to create is our health. And that is not going to be a boolean, it's going to be a float. And we're also going to create our ammo, which is also going to be a float. So these two are green. We're not going to create these as public. We could do that, so every level you could have our character start with a certain amount of ammo and health, but we'll just leave them private for now. And then from this event begin play, I'm just going to pull off from this. I'm going to type in sequence. And what this allows me to do is, so once this level begins, it's going to fire off this node, and then it's going to fire off this 0 node, which is going to hit this function, but then it's also going to do this for us. So what we want to do is grab our health, we're going to set it, grab our ammo, we're also going to set that, and we're going to set them both to be 100. Go. And what we could say is every time we fire, okay, it's going to update our animation and set it to shoot, but it's also going to grab our ammo, okay, and it's going to get it. So this should be equal to 100 when we first started off, and we're also going to set it. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab our ammo, type in minus here, or the minus key, and we're going to go float minus float, and we're going to take 5 away. Okay, so it will be initially 100, and then we can take 5 away from that 100, which would be 95, and plug it in here. So then when it comes back around again, and if we press shoot, this would be 95 now. We would take another 5 off it and plug it into our ammo, which would be 90, and so on and so forth. And what we could do is, just to test out that that's working, is we can print to our screen this value. Okay, so I'm going to pull off here, type in print, and it's got a print string. So at the minute, if I press play and shoot, you can see in the top left hand corner there, it's just saying hello. So every time I shoot, it's just saying hello. This is a really good debugging tool, okay? Kind of lets you see if nodes are firing off properly. So if this wasn't firing off, I would maybe look at this kind of input action fire and maybe see if there's something wrong here beforehand, why it isn't getting to this print string. But what we can also do is we can get our ammo variable, so I'm going to get it and plug it into this. So this here is just a converter, so it's converting these numbers, which is numerics, into a string, which is text, which can be printed on to the screen. So now if I press compile and play, when I first press shoot, it should bring up 95, 90, 85, and so on and so forth. Now the problem is I can keep going, so I've kind of got infinite amount of ammo. So what we want to do is we want to set up a boolean, okay, which means that if we get to 0, we can no longer fire off, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out this node and we're going to add in a branch, and what we're going to say is I'm going to add another variable, sorry, and we're going to call this out of ammo, and this is going to be a boolean. Actually, we don't need that variable, sorry, I'm going to delete that. Don't need that. What we're going to say is we're going to grab ammo, we're going to get it, and we're going to pull off from this, and we're going to say equal to. So is the float greater than or equal to 5? So if it's greater than or equal to 5, that means that we've got like one more shot left. Okay, so that's true. So that means that we should be able to still fire. If we go below 5 or on 0, that means it's false. And what we could do then is we can print out a string. So I'm just going to copy and paste this, and our string will be out of ammo. Compile, press play. So 95, 90, we'll keep on going. Now we're out of ammo. So that's working up. And that's a great way of kind of using a boolean, okay? And that's kind of mainly what we'll be using booleans for, just checking amounts. If they aren't equal to or greater than or less than, you know, then we'll add a true or false split into our script in here, so we can get a few different results. With our health, we're going to need something to take down our health. At the minute, we've got like no enemy in there to take any damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and just press hitch, okay, which is going to have a keyboard event. So whenever we press hitch, I'm going to take some health off us, okay. So I'm going to grab health, I'm going to get it, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to set it. So health set, and it's going to be minus 10. Let's put a minus in first, so minus 10. So again, same as the ammo, so we've got our health, which is 100. We're going to minus 10, and then we're going to set that variable, whatever that answer would be, and we're going to print this off. What I'm going to just do for a second now is delete these print strings. So you can see there it's going down in 10. But again, same as the ammo, once it gets past 0, it just keeps on going. So we're just going to bring in another branch. And we're going to get our health. Get. And we're going to say, just click on or hit equals here, and we're going to say if it's greater than or equal to 1, it's true, we can still take health. But if that's less than 1 or on 0, false, I'm going to just type in a print string here. I'm just going to say you are dead. So keep hitting hitch, and then saying you're dead. Again, like I've only got a print string, I'm just testing it, but you know, you could have then another function that would, you know, restart the level or something like that, which I'll be showing you later on. So we've got our health and our ammo decreasing properly, but what we want to have happen now is we want to be able to increase our health through pickups, and increase the amount of ammo we have through pickups as well. So to do that, we're going to have to create 2 new blueprints. Okay, so in the blueprint section, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm just going to call this pickups, and I'll color this, I'll get teal color. So right click, blueprint class, actor, I'll call this health pickup. So since I don't have any kind of specific sprite for this, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my character one, down the bottom. Actually not in the bottom. this here is going to be our health pickup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it into my scene, and to get rid of that scene root, I'm just going to drag it up to the top. So basically that sprite is the scene root. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a component. I'm going to type in box, and it's just going to be a box collision. Okay, so this is kind of going to be the area wherever I walk into. This is going to tell me if I've walked into this blueprint or if I haven't walked into it. So I'm just going to make it around the size of this. Doesn't have to be exact. Actually, I'll just make it a bit bigger. Once that's made, I'm just going to go into my event graph. And what I can do is, with this box selected, I can right click and add an event from that box. So you can see if it gets hit, if it can begin overlap, end overlap, if it wakes up, cursor over it, cursor taken off it. We can do a lot of things just with this box, but the one we want to use is begin overlap. Okay. So what we can do is basically say when we overlap this, so we walk into it, we can call upon some variables found in our player and change those variables, and we're going to use that with a kind of special node called a cast2 node. So if I right click here and type in cast2 player, well, that's actually called 2D, isn't it? 2D. So it's actually called 2D side scroller character. So I can use this cast2 2D side scroller character. And you can see the overlap component. If I join that up with this object, that means that the only thing that can walk into it is my 2D character, because it's saying what is the overlap component, and I'm saying, well, it's this cast to 2D side scroller character. It's not an enemy, you know, it's not like a particle effect or anything like that. Only this here now can overlap with it. And I'm going to pull out from this bottom one, and I'm going to type in health, and you can see that I can set my health. So what I'm going to do is pull that over there. I'm going to pull out health again. So get health. So I'm going to get health. I'm going to just hit the plus key, and I've got float by float, and we're going to add in 10. Okay. And what we also want to do is just destroy this actor. So when we walk into it, and only our player can walk into it, it's going to grab the variable from that player, okay, it's going to set it by looking at what health it has already, adding 10 to it, and then setting it. And then after that, it's going to destroy it. It's going to happen so quick though that, you know, it's going to destroy itself pretty quickly. So if I save that, we've got a warning here. I've connected the wrong part in, I believe, so it should be other actor. Yeah, so not overlap component, it's just asking for other actor. So compile and save. Do this for our character, and then what I'm going to do is in our blueprints, in their pickups, I'm going to add in a health pickup. Just it's on 0 for me, that's good, and I'll put it there. Let's make it a bit bigger. Press play. So if I press hitch, it's going to go down to 50. Bring that up, press hitch. It's gone back down to 50 again, which means it's on 60. Just to make sure that it's definitely adding on, I'm going to get a print here, print string, and it's going to print our health. So press hitch a few times, it's on 60 now, so if I walk onto this it should go up to 70, which it is. So that's working. And then I can delete that. And you could do the exact same thing for the ammo. So when you set up another blueprint, you would create another box with your sprite, and instead of going for the health though, you would go for the ammo. So every time that you shot, you know, and you wanted to pick up some ammo, you would throw one of these in. The only other thing that I could suggest for this is that you might want different health packs to, you know, add, or ammo packs to add a certain amount of ammo or health. What we can do is we can add a variable, we'll just call it health amount. Change that to float, and we'll make that public. So instead of just adding 10, what we'll do is we'll plug this variable into it, and then in our main menu we can set how much it's going to add. So I can add 10 to this one, and then I could add 20 to this one. Press play, hit a few times, so down to 30 now, so this should add 10. Yeah, so that's back at 30, and this one should add 20. Yeah, I'm back at 40, so that's working. And again, you could do that for your health.